hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not? Are you not entertained?
All right, what is going on, Entertainment? So I'm coming out with another video, and we talking about spinach. Spinach, let's spinach. Okay, first of all, this is one of the most ridiculous arguments I've ever seen on the internet, and it goes to show you as to why us Black folks will never succeed. Okay, or will have a hard time succeeding as people because we turn against each other for the dumbest of things. Now, first, let's start off with the song "Spin That." It glorifies scamming. It glorifies tricking. It glorifies a lot of things, right? I feel like if you are a parent and your child is listening to this, if they are not intelligent enough to know to not partake in those things, because those same things can land you behind bars, you have failed as a parent. That is nothing on Young Miami as an artist. I don't care what nobody says. I just feel like it's very dumb to feel as if an artist should be careful on what they say because kids are going to listen to it and do it. That is where you have to step in as a parent to make sure your kid knows right from wrong and to not do it. You know how many songs I grew up on and listening from Trick Daddy to Trina? You think I would be dumb enough to go in the yams and do some of the stuff that they suggest in those songs? Are you crazy? This is where accountability is lacking in this community because y'all really putting all this pressure on Young Miami when Sister Girl was just trying to make a hit. That's it, and that's all. And another thing that bothers me about this is if it was a man, y'all, the same energy would not be had. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care to make this a sexist thing, but let's really keep it a buckarooski. Let this have been Trick Daddy. Let this have been Luda. Spin that. We're gonna spin that. Yo, spin that. Let this have been T.I. Man, we gonna spin that. I know I'm saying that. Running through the ATL, spin that, spin that, spin that. We wouldn't have that same energy. Because it's Young Miami. Oh my God. How dare she? So this all started when the artist Arie spoke out on Threads and then followed up on another video giving her thoughts on everything where someone commented and said, I'm calling for a boycott of Young Miami's song Spin That. I believe it's degrading to our culture. At some point, we have to take seriously the power music has over our perception and the value it reinforces. This can't be the song of the summer. So NDRE says, I spent my entire adult life caring way too much because I finally learned that not everybody cares with a capital C. And explaining it to them is not going to make them care. Everything you listen to and see or eat is going to influence you. So make wise choices, y'all. The acceptance of the song itself is crystal clear sign of the bigger problem. I finally realized that not everybody wants to get free, and it was a very rude awakening. And she did delete those thread posts. Now, the reason why I feel like this is very hypocritical is because I remember growing up hearing, "You ain't licking this, you ain't sticking this." And I got witnesses. As every I done with, they ain't hit till they stuck their tongue in this. I ain't with that front. I got my own bins. I got my own ends. Immediate friends. Me and my girls at car keys and double digit figures. I cherish. I treat it like it's precious. I ain't gonna front. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference? Both were hits. Both charted. What's the difference? This is what my problem to with like the no shade, the older generation. It's like y'all see us young people doing some of the same stuff y'all used to do, and y'all mad. It don't make sense to me. That's the same thing. And to me, in my opinion, Lil Kim's is worse because she's describing the things that she want done to her. So imagine a little girl hearing that and saying, Lil Kim said she said she wanted, see, she want some in there before you could even do anything. I want the same thing. What's the difference? You let me know. What's the difference between Trina said you ain't no Nan 304? She was claiming the 304 lifestyle. What's the difference? Another hit, charted. What's the difference between saying tippy toes? Tippy toes. Like this argument to me, we have bigger problems than a ratchet song that's doing good. We just have bigger problems. We really do. We have really bigger problems than Young Miami putting out this track. And it bothers me. The fact that we are really focused on what Young Miami is doing and her charting with the song. And she came from a group called The City Girls. Like, that's what's crazy to me. Like, to me, it would make more sense if this was such an uproar if it was an artist like Alicia Keys or an artist like a very classy artist that would never make a song like Spin That, and then they drop a song called Spin That and it trends. Then it would be like, okay, cool. That means there's a problem where this artist, who's a classy artist who doesn't make that type of music, has to make that type of music for it to pop. This isn't Young Miami's genre. Hello? Like, what? This was expected from her. This isn't a shock. So the fact that it did well, I'm not shocked. But do I feel like it's showing that, this generation is changed or cooked? No, because there's songs very similar and not, in my opinion, a little bit worse that was put out in the 90s, that was put out in the early 2000s. But where was that energy then? Was it influencing the generation then? I highly doubt it. Now, I will say kids nowadays are very influenced. So they see the baddies, they see the bad boys, they see the squabbling. They think, oh, that's the only way I'm going to be famous. I got to squabble. I got to do a good squabble and be, disobedient and do my big one. And that's how I'm going to be rich and famous, right? But once again, like I said in the beginning, this is where you have to step in as a parent and do your job and turn off that show that they're watching and turn off that music if you think that your kid is that weak-minded. Child, when I tell growing up, I used to watch some of the most ratchet stuff. I used to tune in some of the most toxic stuff. I turned out okay. Like I'm telling you, like it just really depends on your parenting and the household that you grew up in. I don't care what nobody say. It really does. And if you disagree, you gotta question. You gotta look at how you're parenting, because ain't no way. I remember leaving elementary school and going home and watching what? Love and Hip Hop. I'm talking about Chrissy Samaya almost squabbling down. You think I went back to school getting into squabbles? No. Because I knew, guess what? It's entertainment, babe. It's not real for real. This is set up. This is produced. You think I was going back to school and talking back to my teachers like, you, okay? You where you at? You think I was doing that? No. I knew better than that. Because I knew my parents, if I went home, they would whoop my ass if they were calling my mom and dad while they was at work. Because they already had enough problems and we was broke. So the last thing they need is my bad acting up in school and causing more of a headache besides us being broke. It's just like, it boggles the mind. It really does. It boggles the entire mind. Okay. Now, she did follow up on this whole situation because she ended up getting a lot of backlash because a lot of people call her out on it because they felt like, how dare you try to back up the fact that her song deserved to be boycotted.
Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. I have marks for my glasses. My third album, Testimony, Volume 1, Life and Relationship, turned 20 years old on Friday, the 27th. It snuck up on me. Somebody had to tell me. And so that's why I'm making a video right now instead of writing about this on my Substack, which if you know me, you know, I like writing on my Substack. And you don't need to see that bowl back there. Okay. And I've been in the blogs a couple times this last week. And so I wanted to come and talk about these things. Let's talk about the easy one first. It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it. So I know, and I'm telling you what it is, but you enjoy if that's what you want to do. And I will enjoy doing what I want to do. And that's why I don't think anybody needs to boycott. I think people just need to make choices for themselves. That's what I think. That's one. Two, also, this is a short version of a longer video. I put a much longer video where I go into detail about these concepts on my Substack. So go check that out if you're interested. Two, I was also in the blogs because I made comments about Clive Davis. And I said, watch what kind of stories you're going to see coming out about him. I signed my record deal when I was 22 years old. And so I learned about human nature through the lens of the music industry. So I got a full hot dose of all of it. And I know what kind of stories are going to go. I don't need to say anything more because you're going to hear the stories. You're already hearing the stories. If you're on social media, you hear some of it's true, some of it's not true, some of it's conspiracy, some of it's, what's the word, exaggerated, but a lot of it's true. And it's not my place to tell stories of people close to me, but I've heard some stories and I have my own experience. And again, it was wrongly reported that I talked about our working relationship. I did not have a working relationship with him, but I was certainly at the effect of his power. So I go further into that on my Substack if you're interested. And the third thing, when I made the Clive Davis comments, people were saying, well, speak on it, sis. Like, tell us what you think. Like, you know, like they wanted me to, because in my comment, I said, I don't need to go into my story because people have far worse stories than me. I called my experiences with Clive Davis an irritation, and it was an irritation. But I have stories. And that's why I decided to make this video today because, again, I go into the longer version on my Substack, but Testimony Volume 1, Life and Relationship, turned 20 years old on Friday, June 27th. And the record label executive that I did that album under is the one and only I did with this executive.
And another thing too, I really feel like celebrities need to not get baited into replying to certain stuff because that person who commented that wasn't a bait, of course not to Arie because it's not like to India Arie because it's not like he like tagged her, he or she like tagged her, but when you see certain stuff you want to reply, that's some stuff you send to your homegirl a good girlfriend, so that way you know end up in the blogs or something like that. Because y'all, the way some people have been reading Miss Arie and her head wrap under the table. Oh my God. I'm talking about it's been really bad. It's been really, really, really bad. Okay. Like I'm talking about Trick Daddy literally got up on this internet and called her anything but a child of God. I can't even play the audio because it goes against guidelines. And, you know, I'm a good steward and I'm following guidelines. Okay. You hear me, YouTube? I am. Uh, he basically called it all types, anything but a child of God, basically saying, how dare you talk about Young Miami? It's giving jealousy because she looks the way that she does. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's giving jealousy or anything like that. I think NDRE comes from a generation to where, although there were certain songs like that still around, they were not giving as much light. Although they charted and did very well, they were not giving as much light and social media presence as it is now, because back then there really was no social media. So people listened to what they wanted to listen to. Now it seems as if certain songs are being put in the forefront And that's what I feel like she is realizing. You get what I'm saying? So I think that was more so her point in all of this. But what I said in the beginning, my rant in the beginning is for the people that are saying that are agreeing with her and that are saying they should boycott and shame on Carisha and this song is bad for the generation. That to me is my frustration because y'all shouldn't hold her as the leader for the young community because I don't believe she applied for that job. Sister girl just trying to get her money up since this whole Diddy thing had her in ruins. Okay, she don't give a crap about inspiring you young folk. She trying to get her money. That's it. That's all.
Was honored the other day at the BET Awards. I don't need to say her name. You can go find her name. You know who she is if you watch the BET Awards. And she did things to me that were so hurtful and so offensive. And I go into that in the longer Substack video. But what really happened in that era was coercion. That's how I know what coercion is. I know a version of it because coercion is when somebody puts you, why is my rap doing this? Coercion is when somebody puts you in a situation where you have to decide if you're going to destroy everything, destroy yourself, or do what they're telling you to do. And I signed to Motown under a different record label executive. So when they kicked him out, I had to stay with her. And so all the things that me and this other record label executive had planned, I had to recalibrate. And that she coerced me into things. And there's a much longer story, again, on my Substack. But the thing I want to share with you today is that Testimony Volume 1 had 2 album covers. I'm going to put them here on this video. One of them was the one I had for a good 8 months. And to me, that was the cover. We worked so hard on this cover. My graphic designer, Anna Valencia Lee Brooke. Is that your whole name, Anna? I don't know why that just came out like that. But she's really my friend. Is a camel. A camel is a horse. The saying, scratch, scratch. The saying is, a camel is a horse designed by committee. You get it? So it's basically saying like, what's this weird thing that looks like a horse, but it's not a horse? Because once everybody has their hands all in it, then it turns into this weird thing. And that's how I felt about the cover that most of you have seen for Testimony Volume 1, where I'm standing in front of the tree and I got the skirt that's blowing back. I'm standing grounded in front of a tree. They made me do that. And there's a lot of editing, the head, the angle of the head. They edited pieces of my hair in, and it just ended up looking like this thing. In hindsight, I don't dislike it as much as I did back then, but there was the coercion piece. So of course, I hated it. That's a Substack. But the reason why I wanted to end this on that note is because I want to say here what that song is about. Yes, on one level, it is about hair. Yes. But on a deeper level, it's about self-definition and not allowing the world to tell you who you are. Because that's what people do. They look at you and they go, oh, you're that. You don't know who I am. And that's what I am not my hair is saying. I am not your expectations. I am the soul that lives within means I'm a much bigger story than you can ever know. You don't know my story. No. So I say what I feel is appropriate and needs to be said out of my mouth. And some things are for me to comment on and some are not. And so I'm not explaining myself here today. I am clearing up some things, but also I'm celebrating something bigger, and that is the soul that lives within.
Okay, I see those earrings. She's warding off those evil eyes looking at her. I see you, sister. Aha. Okay. Now, a user also questioned this whole debate about spin that and say, y'all were chanting and I can't say the words for the longest, but the song Spin That is where the line is drawn. And I agree. Once again, if it was a man saying Spin That, there would not be this big argument. As a man, I know that men get away with a lot more. Like straight up. I've seen it in real time. At the workplace, I could do some, let a woman do it. She not gonna get the same reaction. I done seen it, I done experienced it. So I know. So, and also too, I really feel like it's really helping Carisha more than anything. Y'all giving her free press. She ain't even gotta do nothing. Like, let me tell you, Carisha, did you go to a good woo lady? Because this success is a little questionable. No shade. Am I the only one thinking this? Let me find out. Let me find out, because the way this is really benefiting her is something a little too side-eye-ish. Okay. Now, Carisha's team even has went on to basically take a song, take Arie speaking and kind of dub it over the actual spin that song, which I feel like if this goes through, she's going to end up owning 3,000% of any profits that this makes. But I really feel like they did this just to troll her.
Where you at? Let me do it. Hey. What's up, girl? Hey.
Now, this was a mix with her video song. Once again, like I don't think they're gonna take the legal risk of ever putting this out, to be honest, because yeah, it wouldn't go too right with that. Okay. Let me know what y'all think about this spin that conversation. Do you guys feel like this song is destroying the community? And I don't want to, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna read the comments real well too. And y'all know when y'all comment something, I could see other videos that y'all commented on. And I don't even want to see anybody in the comments shaming Carisha and you're watching baddies. Okay? I swear to God, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you shame on Carisha. She used to do better with the generation, and I don't want to see you gagging and kicking about baddies videos. Okay? If you gonna have one energy, keep it the same throughout everything. Okay? Let me know what y'all think down below, and we're our babies.
Welcome to the house of imitators.